Good afternoon, fellow Man City fans. Looking for your daily dose of all things Sky Blues? You found it. Here at City Insider, we're dedicated to delivering the latest news, rumors, and insights on the team, day in and day out. Don't be the last to know. Smash that subscribe button and join the most exciting club in football. Let's dive into the latest updates in today's video. Gianluigi Donnarumma poses for photo ahead of Manchester City arrival. The Italy international completed a deadline day transfer to the Etihad Stadium a week ago, signing a 5-year contract with Manchester City with the option of an additional year whilst he was still on international duty in Florence. Donnarumma has bolstered Manchester City's goalkeeping department further, with the Blues also having signed James Trafford and Marcus Bettinelli from Burnley and Chelsea respectively in the recent transfer window. The 26-year-old has joined City for £26 million after a public fallout with Paris Saint-Germain to conclude a long-drawn contract dispute, which has seen the League One giants replace the Italian with Lucas Chevalier from Lille. Meanwhile, Manchester City allowed Ederson to complete a deadline day move to Fenerbahce, subsequently progressing their pursuit of Donnarumma, who is understood to have agreed personal terms to move to the Etihad Stadium several weeks before the transfer was made official. Whilst Ederson's future in England remained uncertain heading into the final weeks of the transfer window, City identified Donnarumma as their preferred signing and secured the former AC Milan man's arrival in time on the final day of the window. Donnarumma was believed to be keen on joining forces with Pep Guardiola, and despite interest from Manchester United when he was assessing his options, the 26-year-old was waiting for Manchester City to sanction a sale for Ederson, and it has to be said that all parties are happy with how the final weeks of the window have materialized. As confirmed alongside an accompanying photo released by journalist Fabrizio Romano, Gianluigi Donnarumma has traveled to the northwest of England alongside his agent Enzo Raiola. The Italy international is said to be preparing for his first day as a new Manchester City player, having completed his medical with the Premier League giants and signed his contract in Florence due to commitments with the national team on transfer deadline day. Manchester City's first-team stars who were away on international duty are expected to report for training later this week, with the Blues looking to return to winning ways when they face Manchester United at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday. Man City have 2 wildcard options to solve defensive doubts. Manchester City's stuttering start to the season has raised more questions than answers around the Etihad. Successive defeats to Tottenham and Brighton have punctured the August optimism that flowed after a thumping 4-0 opening day win at Wolves. City are in the bottom half of the Premier League table and face a crunch week, with games against Manchester United and Arsenal next up in the top flight, and a Champions League tie with Napoli sandwiched in between. Pep Guardiola is facing questions over whether his side can contribute enough goals to support Erling Haaland, while some of City's defensive frailties that were evident last term are still hampering the Blues this season. Injuries have not helped at the back, with Josko Gvardiol yet to feature, and Ryan Nouri forced off early in the defeat to Tottenham. But there remain concerns at right back, with neither Rico Lewis or Matheus Nunes doing enough to nail down that spot, while a lack of pace has also been exposed. With a new goalkeeper in Gianluigi Donnarumma now set to become first choice, with Ederson having departed for Fenerbahce, the City defense will have to adjust to a new starting stopper who brings a different skill set to the Brazilian. Donnarumma is unlikely to operate as far out of his goal as Ederson was, while his distribution is also not at the level of the 32-year-olds. It might see City adjust their shape, while it could also impact the selection thinking given the right back issues and the relative lack of pace in the middle. Speaking on the Talking City podcast, men writer Alex James floated 2 potential solutions. "I'd be tempted to play Stones at right back, certainly against Arsenal," he said, "because he can fill in a midfield, as we've seen him do from that position before. He's probably a better one-on-one defender than Nunes and Lewis, and he gives you a bit more physicality and presence at set pieces, which Arsenal try and exploit. And I don't know if Donnarumma being in goal changes things, and we might see a bit more of Khusanov. It will be a big thing to throw Khusanov in, week out, but he's got pace. If City are going to carry on playing a high line, and Donnarumma is going to be 5 yards further back than Ederson was and maybe less adept at doing what Ederson did in those scenarios. Might you need a bit of pace in that back four? Real Madrid are monitoring Man City target. Adam Wharton is a player who has been linked with a move to the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City have been tracking Wharton for months, who has emerged as one of England's best young players since his move to Crystal Palace in 2024. Fabrizio Romano has revealed on his YouTube channel that Real Madrid are monitoring Wharton, who Txiki Begiristain supposedly admired as well. Romano said, "I don't think now is the time to say the player is going to move for sure in 2026. The focus of the player is on Crystal Palace, is on playing every single game, is on being an important player for Oliver Glasner and for Crystal Palace. They play European football. Then, in 2026, I will not be surprised if something happens because Premier League clubs, but also clubs in Spain, including Real Madrid, are monitoring Wharton. Jack Grealish must know how brilliant the Crystal Palace midfielder is, having played alongside him once for England. Manchester City will be hoping to beat Real Madrid to Wharton's signature if they up the ante to sign the Englishman. However, Real Madrid are eyeing Rodri as well, and City's insiders reportedly believe he would be open to a return to his hometown if they fail to reclaim their status as an elite side. If Los Blancos were to sign the Spaniard, whether they would hand the Sky Blues an advantage in the race to sign Wharton remains to be seen. Marmoush injury timeline revealed. Omar Marmoush is a serious injury doubt for Manchester City ahead of their clash with local rivals Manchester United over the weekend. The 26-year-old has started 2 of Man City's 3 Premier League matches so far, picking up 1 assist during those minutes on the pitch. Having joined the club in January from Eintracht Frankfurt, Omar Marmoush has looked like a real threat in the attacking areas, offering some support to the ever-reliable Erling Haaland. Despite Man City's opening day win over Wolves, the citizens have struggled to kickstart their season, slumping to consecutive defeats before the international break. It doesn't get much easier for Pep Guardiola, with the Manchester Derby coming up and a fresh injury for Marmoush that threatens to impact the team for the foreseeable future. With Man City looking to kick on with some wins after the international break, it is far from ideal that one of their key stars is now facing a potential spell on the sidelines. Marmoush picked up an issue with his knee within just a few minutes of Egypt's World Cup qualifier against Burkina Faso, which ended 0-0. The forward was side to the ground in a dangerous tackle, which appeared to connect with his knee. The Egyptian Football Association on social media described the injury as a bruised knee ligament. Injury expert Physio Scout took to social media to explain the extent of the injury, stating that the tackle raises concerns surrounding an MCL injury. If that is the case, it would then depend on the grade, with a grade 1 lasting anywhere from 1 week to 3, while a grade 2 could last up to 6 weeks. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you find my updates useful. Bye-bye, and see you in the next video.